Good afternoon, members. With the permission of the chairman, we now start the proceeding of the meeting. I am Vivek Raizada, Head Legal, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer of Godrej Agrovet Limited, attending the meeting from Mumbai. I am pleased to welcome you to the 30th Annual General Meeting of Godrej Agrovet Limited, being held through video conferencing. In compliance with the provision of Companies Act 2013, the SEBI listing regulation, and the applicable MCA circular, the facility of the AGM and e-voting are being provided by NSDL. I would now like to brief the members about certain procedural and technical aspects of the AGM. The facility of joining the AGM through video conferencing is being made available to the members on first-come first basis. All the members who are joining the AGM are by default placed on mute by the host to avoid any disturbances arising from the background noise and to ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. Once the question answer session starts, the names of the shareholders who have registered as speaker shareholder will be called out one by one. Only the audio of the speaker shareholder will then be unmuted by the host. To start speaking, the shareholder is requested to turn on his or her video. If the shareholder is unable to join through video due to any technical issue, the shareholder can speak through audio only. If the speaker shareholder faces any connectivity issue, we would invite the next speaker to join, and once the connectivity improves, the speaker shareholder may be called again to speak once the other speaker shareholders have completed their turn. The speaker shareholder may also call the helpline number mentioned in the AGM notice in case of any technical issue faced by them. The speaker shareholders are requested to be loud and clear while speaking so as to enable us to note the questions correctly. We would like to restrict the speaker shareholders to limit their speech to 3 minutes. Now I request the chairman to take forward the proceeding of the AGM. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nadir Godrej, chairman of the company, attending this meeting by video conference from Mumbai. I am informed that all the directors, except for Mr. V.M. Krishna, who has requested leave of absence, are attending this AGM from their respective locations by video conference. Mr. Jamshed Godrej, Ms. Nisapa Godrej, Mr. Balram Singh Yadav, Dr. Ritu Anand, and Mr. Natharajan Srinivasan from Mumbai, Ms. Tanya Dubash from France, Mr. Pirosha Godrej from Italy, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar and Dr. Ashok Gulati from New Delhi, Ms. Aditi Kotari Desai from London, Ms. Rupa Purushottanam from USA, Mr. Khanna Sitaram from Bangalore. I am also informed that Mr. S. Varadaraj, Chief Financial Officer, is attending this AGM from Mumbai. We have representatives of BSR and Company LLP Chartered Accountants, the statutory auditors, BNP and Associates Company Secretaries, the secretarial auditors, PM Nanabai and Company Cost Accountants, the cost auditors, KFIN Technologies Private Limited, the registrar and share transfer agents attending this AGM through video conferencing. Mr. B. Narasimhan, practicing company secretary, the scrutinizer, is also attending through video conferencing. I extend a hearty welcome to all the shareholders, all the directors and the invitees to the 30th Annual General Meeting of Godrej Agrovet Limited. Due to the social distancing norms and in order to ensure the safety of the members and employees of the company during the times of the COVID-19 pandemic, the AGM is being held by virtual mode. A live streaming of this meeting is also being cast on NSDL's website. I am informed that the requisite quorum for the AGM is present, so I call this meeting to order. Since there is no physical attendance of members and in compliance with the circulars issued by MCA and SEBI, the provision of appointment of proxies is not applicable. The registers, as required by the Companies Act 2013, have been made available electronically for inspection by the members during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents can send their request to GAVL secretarial at godrejagrovet.com. Since a notice convening the 30th Annual General Meeting along with the annual report for the financial year 2021 has already been circulated to the members of the company, I take the notice convening the meeting as received and read. Since the statutory auditor's report on the financial statements for the financial year ended March 31st as circulated to the members, does not contain any qualifications or adverse remarks. I take the same as received and read. Since the secretarial audit report for the financial year ended March 31st, 2021, as circulated to the members, does not contain any qualifications or adverse remarks, I take the same as received and read. It gives me immense pleasure to brief you on the key highlights and developments for the financial year 2021. The financial year was a challenging year with the outbreak of COVID-19, which caused a high degree of uncertainty and tested the resilience of businesses in the face of a difficult environment. Agriculture was the only sector that grew. The growth was 3.6%, and this was mainly due to the essential nature of the agricultural goods and services. Further macroeconomic indicators in terms of good monsoon, good water reservoir levels, and remunerative prices were also favorable. In these tough times, the safety of our employees was paramount. Therefore, we focused on establishing strong safety protocols across our facilities. We thank our employees who ensured that the manufacturing facilities were operational with all safety measures in place from April 2020 onwards after receiving the necessary approvals. For Godrej Agrovet, it was an outstanding year in terms of profitability, as consolidated recurring profit before tax grew by 59.7% year on year. This was despite an 8.5% decline in recurring total income. The segment-wise business performance update is as follows. Animal feed. The animal feed segment results grew by 24.1% on the back of favorable commodity prices and realization of R&D benefits. Your company launched a cattle feed product called Samruddhi in the western region and enjoyed excellent customer response. However, lower demand from the HoReCa segment for the end protein products, i.e. milk, eggs, and chicken, led to lower volumes and sales for cattle, broiler, and layer feed. Crop protection. Our endeavor during the year was to improve the working capital cycle and increase collections. We successfully increased collections by 27%, and we were able to lower the working capital cycle by 30 days. In terms of standalone performance, segment revenues grew by 2.4%, and segment results of rupees 153 crore were similar to the previous year. COVID-induced lockdown led to production disruptions of key products in the peak season, which impacted performance. Our subsidiary Aztec Life Sciences Limited maintained its strong performance as profit before tax grew by 45.2% despite a modest 5.3% growth in total income, mainly driven by the domestic business. Vegetable oil. It was a mixed year for the vegetable oil segment. While the crude palm oil prices were favorable throughout the year, a whitefly infestation lowered the production of fresh fruit bunches and the oil content in the fruits. This led to a modest revenue growth and marginal decline in segment results. We expect this situation to improve in the current fiscal, with the prices being significantly higher and the oil content and fruit arrivals being better than the previous year. Dairy. Your company operates in the segment through its subsidiary Creamline Dairy Products Limited. A COVID-led lockdown impacted sales of milk and milk products, especially from the HoReCa segment. However, lower procurement prices led to improvement in profit before tax. We also launched Mysore Park in key southern markets and launched Jersey Ghee in Mumbai to increase our product portfolio and customer reach. Poultry and processed foods. Your company operates in this segment through its subsidiary Godrej Tyson Foods Limited. It was an excellent year for the company as profit before tax was 22.7 crore compared to a loss reported in the previous year. Growth was driven by the strong performance both in yummies and the live bird segments. Remunerative end products prices, favorable commodity prices, and increase in demand for ready-to-cook products were the key drivers. In terms of ongoing projects, the construction of new plants got slightly delayed due to the lockdown in financial year 2021. However, we expect these projects to be completed in financial year 21-22. We are setting up a new herbicide plant in Aztec Life Sciences Limited to diversify the revenues, which will be commissioned in the second quarter of the current year. Also, we are setting up a new fish feed facility in Uttar Pradesh, which will enable us to cater to the northern and eastern markets for fish feed. We also continue to invest in R&D projects, which will help us improve our product offering and also contribute to profitability in the medium term. This was on the key highlights of our businesses during the financial year 2021. Now, I would also like to update you on the results of the first quarter of the current financial year, which were taken on record by the board at its meeting held this afternoon. At a consolidated level, Godrej Agrovet reported total income of 2,003 crore, a growth of 28% year-on-year. Profit after tax was 105 crore compared to 101 crore in the same period of the previous year. The second wave of COVID was much more severe and has dented the economic recovery in the first quarter of 21-22. However, as the vaccination program gathers traction, it will hopefully lead to lower cases and will lead to an increase in the demand and consumption. Sector-wise, the agricultural sector is expected to be the key contributor to growth this year as well. Further, with the opening of the economy, demand from the HoReCa segment is expected to pick up significantly, which will support volumes and sales in the animal feed and dairy segments. Your company is committed to serve society to the best of our abilities. The teams work relentlessly to provide immediate relief to the contractual workers and local communities around our manufacturing plants. We also contributed to the government's efforts to fight the pandemic and helped in strengthening the public health care system. Our employees also ensured an uninterrupted supply of our essential goods and services to the consumers despite all challenges. As a people-centric organization, we initiated an active vaccination program for our employees, their families, their dependents, our contract workers, and our business partners from May 2021 onwards. Currently, 88% of the employees have received their first dose of vaccine, and we plan to vaccinate nearly all shortly. In the end, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the employees for their support and commitment to the company. I also express my gratitude to all stakeholders for believing in the company and supporting us in these difficult times. As we look to the future, we remain confident of achieving our long-term objective of sustainable and profitable growth and creating long-term shareholder value. Finally, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all our employees, business partners, vendors, and other stakeholders for their efforts and contribution to the company. I would also like to express my gratitude to all our shareholders for their interest and faith in the company. We look forward to your continued support in the years ahead. I would like to inform the members that as per the provisions of the Companies Act, the remote e-voting process was carried out by the company from Friday, August 6th till Monday, August 9th through the services of NSDL. All efforts feasible under the circumstances have been made by the company to enable members to participate and vote on the items being considered in this AGM. The members who have not cast their votes earlier through remote e-voting can cast their votes during the course of this AGM through the e-voting facility, which is now open. Members may do so by visiting the previous page, click on e-voting, then to active e-voting cycles, and then even number, while at the same time view the proceedings of this meeting. Instructions for e-voting at the AGM are available in the notice of the AGM. The e-voting facility will remain open up to 15 minutes after the conclusion of the meeting to enable the members to cast their votes. Since the AGM is being held through video conferencing and the resolutions mentioned in the notice convening this AGM have been already put to vote for remote e-voting, there will be no proposing and seconding of the resolutions. Mr. B. Narasimhan, the scrutinizer, shall submit his report to me or to Mr. Balram Singh Yadav, the Managing Director. The results of the e-voting shall be announced not later than 48 hours from the conclusion of this AGM by intimation to the stock exchange and will be placed on the website of the company, www.godrejagrovet.com. We now open the floor for any questions from the shareholders present at the meeting. I will now request the company secretary to call the names of those shareholders who have registered themselves to speak or ask questions pertaining to the performance of the company during the financial year, one by one.
I request each speaker shareholder to be brief and limit their speech to 3 minutes and also avoid any repetitions. Once all the speaker shareholders have asked their question, the same will be answered. Our first speaker is Dr. Arun Kumar Bopna. Mr. Bopna, you can speak now.
Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Bopna.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Compliments to the management for staying committed to their decisions, but being flexible in approach after decisions. For a consolidated PBT growth and top-line growth, for Samruddhi in the Western markets to meet the targets, for ME's new veg and non-veg products ready to cook minus any cookbook, for new Godrej jersey logo to be popular like Pogo, for setting up a fish plant free of UP government grant. My questions, your comments on 3 farm laws and agriculture reforms along with farm laws, impact for Godrej Agrovet. COVID left us in real fear. Will vaccine keep us safe and clear? Are all our staff vaccinated? Seismic shift in India's clean energy pursuit, net carbon zero as soon as possible. Godrej Agrovet target and route. Impact of whitefly on oil content. What is chairman's comment? How much reduction in percentage? Farmers need seeds. Farmers do not like weeds. Opportunities in domestic care, while to nature being fair. Rational use of water by using only a quarter for better output. What is the outlook? Sentiment change towards chemical industry. Beacon of hope in chemical industry due to good returns from chemical industry. Godrej Agrovet comments on this. By 1970, China, India were 10% in global GDP. West and Japan had more than 80% of GDP. This dynamic has changed. What is the current stage? How is it being managed? Lastly, the agriculture sector is only silver lining. Lest we will be without food while dining. In conclusion, Godrej Agrovet appreciates the relationship of man and earth. Godrej Agrovet works for farmers to see there is no dearth. Godrej is into crop protection, animal feed, aqua feed. Godrej Agrovet meets all daily essential needs. Godrej into dairy, oil, palm, livestock, fish, poultry daily. We drink and eat. Godrej Agrovet knows many a time in eating we cheat. Godrej Agrovet knows extra weight cannot be lost. So Godrej Agrovet will have to make healthy foods to reduce the cost. Godrej Agrovet will have an employment stream. Godrej Agrovet fulfill many young people's dream. I wish Godrej Agrovet all the best. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Bopna. Our second speaker is Ms. Prakashni Shenoy. Ms. Shenoy, you can speak now. Ms. Shenoy? I think she is not available. Our next speaker is Mr. Ravi Kumar Naredi. Mr. Ravi? Mr. Ravi? I think he is also not there. Our fourth speaker is Ms. Vasunda Dakwe.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Very good afternoon, respected chairman, sir, board of directors, and my fellow shareholders. Myself, Vasudha from Thane. First of all, I would like to congratulate our company secretary for sending me the soft copy of the report well in advance, which itself is clear and transparent. I would like to ask, why did the total number of women employees very less in our company on page number 38? Secondly, can you please share current scenario of our factory located at Lote Parshuram, as most of the villages like Chiplur, Mahad suffer from heavy rainfall and flood? Thirdly, can you please throw some lights on the total debt is rupees 692.37, so high compared to last year rupees 389.52 on page number 14. With this, I support all resolution and wish the company all the best for coming financial years and coming all the festivals during this Shravan month, Ganpati as well as Diwali. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Dakwe. Our next speaker is Mr. Dinesh Bhatia. Mr. Bhatia, you can speak now. Mr. Bhatia?
हाँ, आप आवाज सुन सकते हैं सर? आवाज आ रहा है सर?
बिल्कुल।
अच्छा, फर्स्ट तो मैं चेयरमैन आपको और आपका पूरा टीम को कांग्रेस कहूँगा कि अच्छी बात है कि ऐसा कोविड पीरियड में भी हमारी कंपनी ने रेवेन्यू मेंटेन रखा है, वो जो अच्छी बात है कि हमारा शेयर भी जो हमारा शेयर का जो 10 रुपया वैल्यू है उसके सामने हमारी कंपनी ने 14 रुपया 14 रुपीज 50 पैसा अर्निंग है। वो एक अच्छी खुशी की बात है कि काफी कंपनी लॉस करती है, लेकिन हमारी कंपनी ने एक हमारे के लिए, आप लोग के लिए और हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है कि हमारी कंपनी ने अच्छा 279 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट किया है। वो भी अच्छी बात है। ये अभी भी हम देख रहे हैं कि कोविड के हिसाब से लॉकडाउन होने के बावजूद भी ये मार्च क्वार्टर का भी हमारा जो रिजल्ट था वो बहुत अच्छा था। 963 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू और 33 करोड़ का नेट प्रॉफिट किया था। वो एक अच्छी साइनिंग है। आप लोग की पूरी टीम की मेहनत दिखाई देती है। तो मैं तो हर एक रिजोल्यूशन में कंपनी को सपोर्ट करता हूँ कि हमारी कंपनी आगे बढ़े। बाकी जो ये सेक्रेटरियल टीम है जो हमें आपके ये मीटिंग के वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए हेल्प किया, उसके लिए उनका भी थैंक्स करता हूँ। बस, थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Mr. Bhatia. Our next speaker is Mr. Yusuf Rangwala. Mr. Rangwala? We will go to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Chetan Chadda. Mr. Chadda, you can speak now. Our next speaker is Mr. Shailesh Mahadevia. Mr. Shailesh?
Yes, sir.
You can speak now.
Yeah, I am putting on my video.
Okay, sir.
I believe I am now visible as well as audible. Respected Chairman, distinguished directors, and all the members of the company. Sir, firstly, let me congratulate the entire board, the management team, and all the workers working with us for achieving excellent result during this pandemic year. Sir, I must also congratulate the management for looking after our employees and also their family members during this period. Sir, the whole planet is under turmoil and our project for Go Green is the ideal answer to that as far as our company is concerned. So, sir, I would like to appreciate to the best of my ability for this wonderful work which is being done by the Godrej Group. Sir, we are spending the CSR amount as required by law, but I know the contribution of Godrej Group is much more. And we are also conscious about ESG concept, which is measuring the real wealth of a company, just as the GDP indicates the health of an economy. So, sir, my request is, can you give us some idea about our ESG rating that you may have in mind, not only for our company, but also for our whole group as such? which you may propose to achieve in the next 2-3 years. Sir, in GCPL, we had given the impact of our CSR activity as 8.57 or so. Sir, have we measured the same as far as our company is concerned? Well, if at all, it may be distributed, and you can also give an idea as to what is our target for our entire group. Sir, now I wish to put some specific question. Sir, my first question is regarding the cattle feed Samruddhi, which is likely to give higher feed conversion ratio. Sir, may I know what is this conversion ratio? Can it be measured and looked after year? Sir, my next question is regarding the animal feed demand, which has increased considerably during the year under consideration, but it depends on the protein products demand. So, is there a rising trend for these products in view of higher disposable income, particularly in rural and semi-urban population? Sir, my next question is regarding the fish feed plant which we are putting up at Baramati in UP, sir, which is likely to commence shortly. Sir, can you give us some idea what will be the volume and the value turnover of this project maybe in the next 2 to 3 years? Sir, my next question is regarding cream line dairy products, which we have started now distributing in Western India as well. Sir, my question is, can you give us the details about the entire range of products which we are offering? Sir, in particular, I would like to know whether Godrej Jersey ghee is certified as organic ghee. Sir, secondly, the ice cream which is being offered, very popular in South India. Sir, may I know whether this ice cream is made purely from milk or it is like a dessert which is being offered by Hindustan Unilever? Sir, my next question is regarding acquisition of about 28,000 acres of land for our palm oil business. Sir, may I know when it is likely to give reward, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years? Sir, then we have also started implementing our digital program. Sir, may I know to what extent we have already adopted this digital program, particularly in our production activities and in our distribution activities? And sir, lastly, I am very keen and eager to taste the Mysore Pak which is being offered. It is one of the most difficult sweet that is in the cooking field of our Hindus and our Western India people. So I am very eager to taste that particular product as and when it is available, and I wonder where it will be available in Mumbai, in near our house or maybe office. I am at Nana Chowk. And sir, lastly, you have given a good idea about the turnover in the current period, which I hope you will continue to maintain as you have already indicated on as a result of various parameters which are likely to function in the times to come. Sir, with this, I wish our organization every success in all our efforts at an accelerated rate, which is our way of life, rather than 1 year's performance. Sir, one last point I have forgotten. It is regarding the various snacks which are being offered by our dairy company. Sir, may I know how much of it is vegetarian and how much of it is non-vegetarian that is being offered? Sir, thank you very much for your patient hearing and for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madhivya. Our next speaker is Mr. Shravan Vora. Mr. Vora, you can speak now.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity and good afternoon to the board members and chairman sir. First of all, I want to thank the group for whatever it does for the people of the country, and I as a shareholder am a very proud shareholder and third generation shareholder of the Godrej Group. So we take a lot of pride in the group. So I had basically three questions from the management. First was in the annual report, when I read the management discussion and analysis, we have quite specifically mentioned that we have limited pricing power in most of our businesses. Now, this is something that I really wanted to get your view upon, because great businesses are ones where gradually we can build pricing power, where we can have customers to pay for something extra that we give, or we can have R&D in a way where we stabilize our margins, because that is how our business moves from a commoditized business to a more stable kind of business. So just what the management thinks about this. Second is on the packaged foods and the opportunity at Godrej Tyson. Non-veg in itself is a big culture in India and growing very fast. And at Tyson, through Yummies and all, we've been gaining market share. But I've seen that a lot of traditional strong players like ITC and some new players like Licious are entering this space very drastically, and they've been advertising and filling distribution places when I go to modern trade supermarkets. So what is our company's strategy to counter this high competition and continue to gain market share and also increase our brand presence? Because we have a first mover kind of an advantage with McCain's and some other companies. So how do we plan to go ahead on that? And third is basically how do we see our business in 5 years, 3 years, because we have tremendous growth opportunities in almost all verticals of our business. We've been an asset light business in, say, our feeds business, where traditionally we've been a business that has been generating return on capital employed plus of 20%, leaving last 1 or 2 years where we've had different kind of issues in different businesses because of COVID. So how does the management see different businesses evolving over next 3-4 years, and what are our ambitions for the company? Thank you so much. Stay safe and all the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Vora. We have now Mr. Yusuf Rangwala available. He is our last speaker. Mr. Rangwala, you can speak now.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. I am very happy to be a part of this excellent group. सर नडी सर, पहले सर मुझे नमस्कार सर, स्पीकर करें नडी सर। और सर मैं आपके सर नहीं ज्वाइन हुआ तो सर मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ। मेरे दिल में इतना गम था, जब आपसे मुलाकात हुई तो मेरा गम सर अपने आप चले गए सर। वी आर नॉन वेज बिजनेस सर, मैं नॉन वेज हूँ तो मैं डायरेक्ट पॉइंट पे आऊंगा सर। मैं जानना चाहता हूँ नॉन वेज में अपना क्या वेराइटीज है, मतलब आप मटन में, आप चिकन में, आप क्या वेराइटीज, अगर आप नया वेराइटीज कुछ बनाते हैं सर, हमें मेरा हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट है, अपना प्रोडक्ट कहाँ पे मिलता है अपने बॉम्बे में सर, मेरे को जानना था। अगर प्रोडक्ट मिलता है तो मुझे आपका प्राइस लिस्ट भेजना, और आपका सर प्रोडक्ट का सर मैं बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ सर। मैं आपको वेंकिस का भी प्रोडक्ट मिलता है, वेंकिस में क्या फर्क है सर? मेरा डाटा वेंकिस और अपना प्रोडक्ट में क्या डिफरेंस है? वेंकिस तो ब्रांड नाम, मेरा भी सर ब्रांड नाम है। बॉर्डर्स को जरूरत नहीं, बॉर्डर्स आ गया मतलब विनाफ सर। आई थिंक आपका सर बिग बाजार पर नहीं मिलता है, आई थिंक कहाँ मिलता है आप जरा जानाइए। और मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कोविड-19 में अपना सब ले लिया सर, अपना फैक्ट्री कहाँ है सर? आज तक सर मेरा हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट है साहब, विवेक सर आपको सर, आपके यहाँ से फोन आया था विवेक सर, मैं बहुत हम्बल हूँ, मैं बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि आपने हमें इस कोविड-19 में आपने याद किया। और सर मैं पूरा गोडरेज ग्रुप का मैं शेयर होल्डर हूँ। मैं इतना चाहता हूँ सर गोडरेज का, मैं जिंदगी में सर आपका नहीं बेचूंगा जब तक ये मेरे जान, हम आपके साथ में रहेंगे और हम जुड़ते रहेंगे सर जब तक ये जान सर। गुड ऑफिसर, हैव अ गुड डे एंड आई विश ऑल द फेस्टिवल, दिवाली, दशहरा, गुड डे सर, हैव अ गुड डे सर, नथिंग मोर टू इट सर।
Thank you, Mr. Rangwala. Since all the questions have now been taken up, over to you, sir.
I now request Mr. Balram Yadav, Managing Director of the company, to answer the questions of the members.
Was about the 3 farm laws and agriculture reform, and I think they have been one of the best reforms which have happened to Indian agriculture for last several decades. Dr. Ashok Gulati, who is our director, has coined this, has termed these reforms as 1991 movement for Indian agriculture. As far as we are concerned, we procure corn directly from Bihar because of no APMC there. And we are very big buyers of corn. Actually, we buy about 600,000 tons of corn, but we were only procuring directly from the farmers only about 70,000-80,000 tons. We have an opportunity to procure from other states also once the APMC interference and licensing requirements are not there. Because as you know, wherever there is a licensing requirement, it is not very easy for us to deal with. The other benefits which I see in time to come will be good traction in contract farming. We already do kind of contract farming in oil palm and in poultry, where we are very successful. We believe in several other commodities. We will go and probably get into contract farming to get access to high quality raw materials for our feed and other businesses. Apart from that, I strongly feel that there is a huge amount of business opportunities for people, because it is also, all these reforms are backed by 1 lakh crore of agri infrastructure fund. And my sense is this fund will be very quickly utilized by the kind of traction which I am seeing, because I am also on the advisory committee of the government for this fund. Next question was vaccination of employees. 88% of employees have received their first vaccines, and we believe that very soon 100% will be covered. And we are very sure that within this year, all our employees will be vaccinated, fully vaccinated with 2 vaccines. Apart from that, we have also covered the eligible dependents of employees, contract workers and their dependents also. And we will continue this for next few months. About clean energy and zero carbon, we are committed to sustainability goals. Our target is about 90% renewable energy portfolio by 2025, and I am glad to inform you that including biomass and solar, we are at 67.5%. And just because of solar roof projects are very, very good and very easy to install, because they only utilize the roof of our very big factory sheds. So we are continuing with this, and I am sure that we will achieve our 90% renewable energy target before 2025. We also have wind, and we also have power produced by biomass in the oil palm plantation business. Carbon neutrality, we are already carbon neutral, and one of the big reasons is that expansion in oil palm plantation business is all through afforestation, because we convert mostly paddy lands into plantations. So we are already carbon neutral. Whitefly was a very big problem for last 2 years, and it was a great public-private partnership where the government of Andhra Pradesh, central government and private sector work together. I must tell you that whitefly is a very tricky insect. If it passes certain stages, it is almost impossible to kill. And in trees, unfortunately, the spraying is not very easy, unlike crops. So we came up with a cocktail of integrated pest management, which had biological management, which were predators, which were developed by the government, and chemicals which were given by certain multinationals. A combination of that has been very, very helpful this year. You also asked about the difference in oil extraction. In 2021, it had declined from 17.49 year before that to 17.35. Actually, the decline was a little more, but because of plantation gaining another year in age, so the higher the age of the plantation, better is the OER. But this year, I am very glad to say that we will definitely cross 18% plus, because there is absolutely negligible level of infestation. Then you also talked about domestic industry growing at 5-6%. Yes, that is the growth which has happened in domestic industry, but GAVL has grown much faster in our crop protection business. I strongly feel that we can only maintain a growth of about 7-8% organically, and to get to 15-16% growth, we need new products, and our development of products and in-licensing is a pipeline, and we have demonstrated that we can introduce 1 or 2 products every 2 years because of the long licensing period. So I think that will continue for next 3 to 5 years. Company outlook towards rational use of water. So as I told you that we are water positive in GAVL standalone. We have invested in integrated watershed projects, as well as all our factories have got water harvesting. I'm glad to say in GAVL standalone business, we don't take any water from the industrial system or from outside. We generate and regenerate our own water systems. Good returns for chemical industry. Definitely, chemical industry has gained a lot because of China Plus One policy. We have also upped our game in Aztec Life Sciences, and we are also investing in new chemical platforms, and I'm very sure that we will see results in time to come. India's growing contribution to world GDP, definitely India's GDP has a share of 6.8% in global GDP in 2020, compared to 7.1% in 2019, and India GDP in 2020 was 2.7 trillion. China GDP share is 18%, so we have a long way to go as far as comparison with China is concerned. Ms. Vasudha asked about permanent employee. We have about 200 permanent employees, women permanent employees in the company, and this is about 6.3% of white collar base, and it has increased considerably in the last 3 years because our focused policies to increase diversity. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the hiring has been a little subdued because of mobility issues, but we are committed to having more diversity in the Godrej Group as well as Godrej Agrovet, and you will see this improved numbers once we start recruiting again. Impact of rainfall in Lote Parshuram factory, negligible. I think Lote Parshuram factory did not have much. However, our Aztec factory in Mahad were flooded for a few days, and we had to cut production, but did not impact in a very significant way. Reason for high debt is that earlier we used to have acceptances. That is, we will do bill discounting of supplier bill, and just because the borrowing, we are borrowing at a very low rate of about 3.67%. There is a big spread between acceptances interest rate and our borrowing rate, more than 2.5%. So we thought that we will deploy more money ourselves to get that interest advantage, and that is why debt has increased. I must also tell you that we are more than interested in taking cash discounts and paying very quickly because of the low interest rates at which we can borrow. Cattle feed Samruddhi to produce milk. I must say that Samruddhi has been able to increase milk yield in average animals. Average animals is 8 to 10 liters per day to between 1 to 1.5 liters without a substantial increase in cost, which is almost 50-60% of that value is profits for the farmer, and that is why it is gaining traction. Plenty of times we have seen that when we increase the quantity of milk, the quality of milk suffers. I think this product addresses that. So quality of milk remains consistent even though the quantity increases. So with increase in GDP, animal protein consumption world over increases, and we also believe that will happen in India. We believe that as a basket, animal protein consumption in this country will increase at 5 to 6% for next at least a decade. Today, animal agriculture is about 1/3 of agri GDP, and I am very sure in 7-8 years, animal agriculture GDP will be at least half of total agri GDP, because animal agriculture is growing at 5-6%, whereas pure agriculture is growing at 1%. Fish feed in Baramati, fish feed in Baramati plant will cost us about 88 crore rupees. Initial capacity will be about 50,000 metric tons. We are expecting that by FY24 this capacity will be exhausted, At this capacity expansion, we will do a turnover of anything between 170 to 200 crores. These plants can do asset turnover of 3 to 4 times or anything in middle, depending on commodity prices. Having said that, at a marginal cost of about 15 crore rupees, this capacity can be doubled to 100,000 tons, and turnover can be taken in excess of 400 crores in time to come if we do well. Creamline Dairy makes several products. Liquid milk is the biggest product, but in addition to this, curd, buttermilk, range of milkshakes, ice cream, ghee, paneer, UHT milk, doodh peda, and whey protein energy drinks are also made. The portfolio is 28% of our total portfolio. Ice cream, definitely, you are absolutely right that we make frozen desserts as well as ice cream from milk. Frozen desserts are important to penetrate the lower price points, and they're very similar to one HUL offers. So Yummies is both veg and non-veg. I must, since you asked me the proportion, so veg is growing rapidly, but still about 40% of the total Yummies, and non-veg is about 60%. 2-3 things about veg I want to say. One is that the growth rate has been very good in the past several quarters for veg products as compared to non-veg products. Plus, we have opened US market also for vegetarian value-added products. Some of the containers were sent last year, and a continuous flow of orders are coming from US now. And we believe that we need to build this business, and hopefully we will be able to grow this business rapidly, not only in US but wherever Indian diaspora is. You talked about allotment by Telangana. Unfortunately, we have not been able to convey properly. We have not signed up with the Telangana government as of now because the certain clauses in the agreement were not very favorable to the industry. And we believe that if we sign those clauses, we will not make money for the first decade of being in Telangana. However, government is engaged with us and they are looking at it because none of the existing palm oil players have signed those agreements. And only after 4 years, some kind of a return starts coming. And it is only after 7 years that full return starts coming in new plantations. Yes, sir, we do measure what is the impact of CSR, and every rupee one invested contributes a social value of about 3.06 rupees. Since we are in the agri sector with data capturing and measurement not very easy, I'm very sure that we will fine-tune this number as we go along with more experience. And I strongly feel that this number will definitely improve as we consolidate our activities in the pockets we are operating in. Telangana, another thing which I wanted to tell you is that we still have some plantations in Khanna. We have already procured about 11 acres of land in Khanna district where the mill is likely to come in next 2 years. Then you talked about digital program. Several of our so we use SAP extensively in managing our functions like stores, accounts, finance, etc. But we have last year or year before last, we introduced using technology in our distribution and sales processes, which is continuing. And this year we will also started in our production systems. Mr. Shravan Bora asked me about pricing power. Most of the businesses like oil palm, aqua feed and animal feed business, and also to certain extent our live bird and milk business, the pricing power is very limited because of the commoditized nature of these businesses. Definitely we are creating brands, particularly in aqua feed and animal feed, where we enjoy 0.5% to 1% brand premium right now. But as we go along and introduce cutting-edge products in these categories through our research and development, I am very sure that we will strengthen our brand premiums in these categories. I must also say that yes, definitely we are moving towards these whatever you have said in terms of stability and growing margin expansion, because Yummies, Real Good Chicken and CDPLs, our milk value-added products are the products where we definitely enjoy brand premium of between 30 to 40%. And in all these products, we have 30 to 40% contribution margin, and this margin is expanding as we introduce new products, because in this categories, new product development is the key, because food is about excitement. How do we stabilize our margin? I think in the commoditized businesses, there is a huge effort on keeping on improving efficiency and cutting costs through R&D and through other improvement initiatives at the farmer level and in procurement and procurement and logistics. R&D in GTFL is largely on new product development and distribution. We have in Greenlight Dairy product business, we have come up with a concept like Jersey distribution centers, and I'm glad to say that this initiative has yielded amazing results in expanding our distribution in the 3 metros of South India. As far as you were talking about increased competition. I'm glad to say that value-added products in Yummy, value-added products in CDPL as well as Yummies are gaining a lot of traction. Last year, growth rate in sales was about 53% for Yummies, and even the margin expansion happened very well, because we grew our contribution at about 78% FY21 over FY20, and this expansion of sales and margin continues in all our value-added category. So the other thing was that Mr. Rangwala asked me about our non-vegetarian portfolio. We are partners of Tyson. Tyson is a specialist in chicken business, and we have chicken, fresh chicken and chicken value-added products in this portfolio apart from veg range, and we keep on introducing new products. And I'll definitely take your coordinates and mail you all the locations near wherever you are where our products are available. Thank you very much. I hope I have answered all your questions to the best of my knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Balram. I would like to thank the members for their questions. In case any questions remain unanswered or the members were unable to speak due to any issues during the meeting, the members may please communicate their questions to the company through email at gavlinvestor@godrejagrovet.com, which shall be answered suitably. I now request the e-voting procedure to be conducted and would like to conclude the meeting. The e-voting facility will remain open for the next 15 minutes in order to enable the members to cast their votes, and will be disabled thereafter. I would like to take this opportunity to thank and express gratitude towards all the employees, business partners, associates, vendors, and also the central and state governments and government agencies for their contribution and sustained support in the continued success of Godrej Agrovet Limited. Finally, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to you, our members, for your continued faith, trust, encouragement, and support. I thank all of you for participating in today's meeting and sincerely wish that you and your families stay safe and healthy. With your consent, I and the other board members would like to take your leave. I wish all the shareholders to stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, members, for participating in the 30th annual general meeting of the company. The e-voting period is now over. Thanks.